I can prove that God exists. Welcome back. I'm a Christian man and I believe in God, but I never liked it when people force their beliefs upon others. I think that a genuine connection with God should come from yourself, should come from your own conclusions, and should come from your own mind. My point is, I have no saying in what you believe in, and I'm not trying to change your mind, but I can prove that God exists. Without a doubt. I'm not trying to make you believe in God, but I can prove that God exists. Let's get started. I have two main arguments to why God exists without a doubt. One is my argument of logic, and the second one is my argument of morality. Let's start with logic. And this is funny because people usually don't buy this argument, even though it's undoubtedly true. And that is this. Everything needs to come from something. Stuff doesn't just appear from out of nowhere. There's not magically a banana that just teleports into your hand, right? That would be completely illogical. And there needs to be a source. Everything needs to start from somewhere. Like my phone. It didn't just appear like this, right? It started in a case, and then it was in a factory, and then it was a bunch of components that were separated. Then it was a bunch of raw materials, and then it was stuck in a mountain. You can keep going and keep going and keep going. You with me? Now this is where the argument for God comes. The kindergarten cliffhanger. When you were told about the universe and how it got created, you were told about the Big Bang. Just a random explosion in the middle of space that just made the whole universe. Well, that's a bunch of horseshit. Because even if that's true, that sand grain or whatever you want to call the Big Bang needed to come from somewhere. It can't just have been nothing and then just appeared. It needed to start somewhere. Do you get what I'm saying? A magic sand grain doesn't just appear in space. It needed to have started somewhere, right? It needed to have come from somewhere. Maybe it was a separate universe. Maybe it was from a whole nother galaxy. Maybe it was from a whole nother dimension. But no matter how far back in time you go, there needs to be a start point. Or does it? What is the one being that we know of that is infinite? That has always existed and that will always exist. That is beyond our human logic because it's an infinite being. That would be God. It's not about if he exists. He literally needs to exist for the universe to exist. Do you get what I'm saying? Because no matter how far back you go and how many theories you make, there needs to be a beginning. And the beginning can't be nothing. But God has always been, and God will always be. God is an infinite being that must exist for the universe to exist. I hope you understand what I mean. God doesn't need a creator. God is the creator. And that's my argument of logic. Why I call it the kindergarten cliffhanger is because you were told in kindergarten that this random explosion just appeared and created the universe. But you're like, where did it come from? And the teacher told you, we don't know. We have no idea where it came from. It just kind of appeared. Well, I'm not okay with that cliffhanger, and God needs to be the conclusion. My second argument is my argument of morality. My grandmother was the best person I've ever met in my entire life. She was a fantastic human being. I never saw her in a bad mood. She always took care of everyone in the family, and she was the most beautiful spirit in the whole world. Now, why I say that is because if God doesn't exist, and if religion doesn't exist, then I have to, in some way, accept the fact that her and all the horrible people in the world, like Adolf Hitler or Genghis Khan, that they all end up in the same place of nothingness. And I will not accept that. You can't just go around your whole life and piss on people and be a horrible human being. Impossible. It is impossible. There must be some kind of cosmic justice that separates the people that were good in life from the people that were bad. Because if there's not, and listen up if you're atheist, if there's not a separation between the good people and the bad people, then why don't you just go around and be a horrible human being? Because it doesn't matter. I can just steal from people. I can just rob a store. I can just beat someone up. I can murder people. Like, who cares, right? We all end up in the same place. After all is said and done, you'll end up a skeleton. So we all end up in the same place. So who cares? I can just be a horrible human being. And it doesn't really matter, right? Heaven doesn't exist and God doesn't exist. So who cares, right? I can just go around and do whatever I want. I think you know deep down in your soul that that's not correct. And I think the idea of your mother and Adolf Hitler and Genghis Khan ending up in the same place after life makes you sick. Just as it should, because it's not correct. There needs to be justice in the universe, is what I'm trying to say. Now, those were my two arguments to why God exists. But hey, maybe you think I'm completely wrong about that. Please let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.